Hey guys, it's Destiny, and today we're going to be going over the value of Fugue's Light Cone as well as her first Eidolon, and which one I would actually recommend. Before we begin today's video, let me know which character from the 3.0 and beyond lineup you are the most excited for. For me personally, so far it would definitely have to be the Herta. Lastly, if you do enjoy videos like these, do make sure to subscribe, hit the like button to support the video, and now let's get straight into it. To start off today's video, let's go over Fugue's Light Cone. Fugue's signature Light Cone, Long Road Leads Home, will grant the wearer a 60% break effect as well as have a 100% base chance to inflict an enemy with the charring state when an enemy becomes weakness broken. This debuff will increase the break damage that the enemy takes by 18% for 2 turns, up to 2 stacks. So essentially up to 36% increased break damage taken. Starting off with the break effect granted by this Light Cone, this is very useful for Fugue, as she will want a high amount of break effect within battle, as one of her traces allows her to give the team additional break effect when enemies are broken, if her break effect is 220% or higher. And if you have the Iron Break set equipped on her, then you'll want 250% break effect or higher within battle to fully take advantage of this set. As a result, the 60% break effect is very useful for getting closer to that stat requirement to maximize her trace, as well as potentially the relics that you have equipped on her. As for the rest of her Light Cone, this is very useful for furthering the damage output of the team, especially since Fugue enables Super Break for teams and you're going to be able to heavily utilize her kits within break-centric teams. The Light Cone's debuff inflicted onto the enemy once they are broken will assist with amplifying the team's break damage even further. Plus, it'll be really easy to get the maximum stacks for this Light Cone, as Fugue's talent will inflict Cloud Flame Luster onto enemies, which now makes them have exo toughness meters, and this essentially means that you can break an enemy twice now. As a result of being able to break enemies twice because of Cloud Flame Luster, this allows you now to take advantage of the 2 stacks from her signature Light Cone to further increase the break damage dealt onto enemies. It is worth noting that this Light Cone, as well as the defense reduction inflicted onto enemies within her kit, both of these debuffs have 100% base chance of occurring, and you'll want 67% effect hit rate to guarantee that these debuffs are inflicted onto enemies. I do think that the base chance being the same as the defense reduction from her skill kit is very convenient, as this doesn't further increase her effect hit rate requirement to guarantee debuffs onto enemies. Overall, Fugue's Light Cone is very useful when it comes to further amplifying a team's break damage, as well as making it easier to reach the break effect requirements within her kit. Now, when it comes to her first Eidolon, when Fugue uses her skill on an ally and grants them the Phoxian Prayer buff, she'll now also increase their weakness breaking efficiency by 50%. This Eidolon, in my opinion, does have very nice value, as now characters who already have a way to reduce toughness meters within their kit, with either being able to reduce toughness meters regardless of what an enemy is weak to, for example Rappa's enhanced basic attacks, or characters who can consistently implant elemental weakness onto enemies, for example Firefly. Now they can take more advantage of Fugue's Phoxian Prayer buff from her skill, as now both Rappa and Firefly will be able to break enemies even faster now, which results in you inflicting super break damage onto enemies faster within a fight, as you are now breaking them faster. Plus, this will further improve the break damage dealt onto an enemy as well, as the super break formula does account for the amount of toughness reduction dealt onto an enemy, and the additional weakness breaking efficiency from Fugue's first Eidolon will be able to increase the toughness reduction dealt to an enemy. I did mention Firefly and Rappa being able to benefit more from Fugue's skill as a result from the additional weakness breaking efficiency from her first Eidolon, but of course any break-centric character can heavily benefit from this to break enemies faster, as well as of course improve their super break damage dealt to an enemy. For example, Boothill will be able to break enemies faster to obtain his pocket trick shot stacks faster now, as well as shred through enemy toughness meters once he does have all of his pocket trick shot stacked. Himeko will be able to break enemies faster, especially in modes like Pure Fiction, where there are a bunch of back-to-back enemies, a bunch of little enemies as well, due to Fugue's talents now allowing those enemies to have an exo toughness meter. When Fugue uses her skill on Himeko, Himeko's attacks will now reduce those enemy toughness meters regardless if they're weak to fire or not. Now paired with the additional weakness breaking efficiency, this can result in breaking enemies of course faster, and Fugue will be able to provide Himeko now more opportunities to deal a bunch of follow-up attacks onto enemies thanks to Fugue's kit benefits. As for Shui, she'll be able to gain more karma stacks when she attacks enemies, as she'll reduce their toughness meters even further with the additional weakness breaking efficiency, and so on. When it comes to team building with Fugue in relation to Harmony Trailblazer and Ruan Mei, for super break oriented teams, you can use Fugue and Harmony Trailblazer together, Fugue and Ruan Mei together, or even all three of them on one team for a no sustain team. Now with E1 Fugue, for those that do lack Ruan Mei, E1 Fugue gives a massive benefit that Ruan Mei provides for break-centric teams, which is that additional weakness breaking efficiency. Ruan Mei's skill provides 50% weakness breaking efficiency similar to Fugue's first Eidolon, so this could be consideration as well for those that lack Ruan Mei and still want to take advantage of the 50% additional weakness breaking efficiency. Plus, if you have Harmony Trailblazer and Fugue on the same team together, you can make a double super break team and now also take advantage of that additional weakness breaking efficiency as well. One thing I thought I'd note between Fugue's signature Light Cone and Fugue's first Eidolon is that you can actually use alternative light cones on Fugue as well, a couple options being before the tutorial mission begins, which assists with getting more energy for Fugue, as well as helping with reaching that 67% effect hit rate benchmark you want to achieve to guarantee the defense reduction debuff onto enemies. Resolution Shines as Pearls of Sweat does not provide effect hit rate or break effects, but it can assist with debuffing enemies' defense even further with the ensnared debuff from the light cone. You can use solitary healing on Fugue, and so on. Fugue does have decent alternative light cone options you can consider using on her, so considering the benefits of both options, I would actually personally recommend her first Eidolon over her light cone. As mentioned, her first Eidolon will allow you to break enemies faster, which is very crucial in break-centric teams as you want to break enemies as soon as possible to begin inflicting super break damage onto them, and additionally being able to improve the super break damage dealt onto those enemies as well. I would love to know which option you would actually recommend to players more and why. And lastly, for those pulling Fugue, I'd actually love to know how many pulls have you all saved up for her so far. For me personally, I have a decent amount and I'm super excited to pull for her very soon, as she does release in about 2 days if I'm not mistaken. So I'll definitely be live streaming my pulls, more than likely on Twitch like usual, and of course doing viewer polls. So if you guys are interested in that, do make sure to join the Discord, as I typically ask my community who wants to do viewer polls, who just has polls on their account and would like me to stream it, and we go from there. But I hope all of you did enjoy this video. If you did, do make sure to subscribe, leave a like, support the video, and I hope to see you all next time. Peace.